We have a shocking New York Knicks update ahead of the key Game 6 matchup between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons in regards to multiple players. And also, Jalen Brunson spoke out on some of the New York Knicks struggles that they've had, while fans are really quickly turning and pointing at multiple different people for the issues here. And Brunson spoke on all of that. So a lot to discuss, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. Hope you're having a good day, and let's jump into it. We have a lot to talk about. Look, if you're part of that 65% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, we have daily New York Knicks content throughout the rest of 2025. Not just the rest of the playoffs, not the offseason, going into the 2025-26 season. If it's 2025, there will be a Knicks Digest update every single day. So make sure to subscribe right now. We also have YouTube Shorts every other day coming out. You don't want to miss out on those. They're really fun, a bit different types of content from the videos as well. So check those out. But we have updates on multiple different New York Knicks players, and Jalen Brunson has also spoken on some of the Knicks' struggles that they've had recently. The Knicks have a chance to close it out against the Detroit Pistons after blowing a chance to close it out at home, now going into Detroit and having to do it to prevent themselves from going to a Game 7. Now, we've seen the Knicks since Jalen Brunson got to the team, well, since Tom Thibodeau got to the team, this is their fourth playoff appearance in 5 years. The past three, they've won 2 playoff series, they've lost 3. Both playoff series that they've won against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Philadelphia 76ers happened on the road. So chances are, knowing history, the Knicks are good at closing teams out on the road. They're a lot better at it than closing teams out at home. Obviously, that's not always the case. They ended up losing Game 6 to the Indiana Pacers, given half the team was injured. But they did not win that series after failing to win on the road. So it's crucial that the New York Knicks are able to close this game out. And there have been some struggles. And given they're not a team that's like falling off a cliff or anything, remember, the Pistons are not a bad team. Yes, I said that I thought the Knicks had a chance of sweeping them, and I stand by that. They easily could have. Also, the Pistons could easily be up 3-2 right now. So there's a lot of ways to look at this situation for the New York Knicks. But that doesn't change the fact that, especially considering the Boston Celtics have moved on, and the winner of this series will face Boston, the Knicks want to get this thing done as soon as humanly possible because it's very important that they get some rest ahead of that Knicks-Celtics series. Now, again, they have to focus on beating the Pistons, something I do think they'll still do. I think they'll do it tonight, in fact. But it is a matter of just getting there and then focusing on Boston when you get there. But you don't want to stretch yourself too thin and then have a Game 7 and 48 hours later be playing in the next playoff series against a rested Boston Celtics team that's coming off destroying the Orlando Magic in Game 5. And on top of that, winning an NBA Finals last season. They're a team that's been battle-tested. We know that about them. So everything sort of screams the Knicks have to get it done tonight. And again, I think they will, but there's been a lot of talk about, well, health and injuries and all that, and we have a massive update on all that. Now, the New York Knicks, it was revealed from Tommy Beer that neither Jalen Brunson nor Josh Hart are listed on the Knicks' official injury report for Game 6. Both Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart will be good to go now tonight. This came out last night, so this is excellent news, knowing that Brunson and Hart will both be ready to go for the New York Knicks ahead of the game tomorrow. That is a huge factor for this team. And on top of this, what we also saw is Josh Hart speak out on his injuries and say, my whole body's bothering me. We've got to go out there and win the game. We've got to go out there and compete. We've got to go out there and be physical, not worry about foul calls or refs or anything like that. We got to make sure we can control what we can control. It's great hearing this from Josh Hart. Hart has definitely gotten into it with the refs a lot this season, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, a lot last game. He kept pointing at Jason Goble every time he'd be fouled, and clearly Goble did not like that as Josh Hart got hit in the head twice by Jalen Duren, and there was no call. However, again, we can't control that, as Josh Hart said, and the Knicks just have to control what's in their power to control, and I think they can. I think they should be able to win this game, especially with Brunson and Hart being healthy, being on the court, doing what they usually do. It's an excellent sign. Now, is Jalen Brunson fine? No, he's not completely 100%. Neither is Josh Hart. Hart even said that his whole body's bothering him. He's had that knee issue for a while now. It's just tendonitis in his knee. That's not going to go away till the season ends. I mean, he's even hinted that he might get surgery in the offseason on his knee. And very worrisome considering Josh Hart is a guy who's been a workhorse for the Knicks. They've used him heavily. He played the second most minutes in the league last season, first in minutes per game, or this season, and first in minutes per game this season as well. So there's a lot to think about considering Josh Hart's injuries, and it also makes you think about hopefully Kevin McCullough Jr. is getting ready because he's the next Josh Hart on this team. But at the same time, Josh is still here. He's still doing his thing. On the other side of things, Jalen Brunson has also been great. I mean, Brunson has been phenomenal for the New York Knicks. He always is in the playoffs. He's been phenomenal every second he's got since he's gotten here. And, well, basically on the topic of Jalen Brunson, he's someone who is not going to be 100% healthy throughout these playoffs. His ankle's hurt. We can't act like it's not. I mean, Brunson said when he was asked about his ankle, he said he's all good. He's not worried about it. But obviously, what's he going to say? Yeah, it hurts. I sprained my ankle. I'm weaker on my right side. Like, he's not going to say that. And also, he's a competitor. He's not going to be like, well, my ankle's hurting. This is an excuse. That's not who Jalen Brunson is at all. Now, Josh Hart also was asked about getting imaging on his wrist that he hurt, and he said the important thing was to make sure you could put a watch on. So if you could do that, he's essentially saying, if I can put a watch on my wrist, then I'm good to go. And also, he was asked a couple different questions, and let's actually make this a little bit bigger for you guys because that's hard to see. As Josh Hart was asked about the imaging on his wrist, he said he had to put the watch on. On top of that, he was asked about playing through pain, and he said prayer and faith, that's all. And when he was asked about how he felt, he said exquisite. Obviously, Josh is not 100%. No one's pretending like Josh is 100%, but it is good to see that Josh Hart is at least healthy enough to play in this game. He's a necessity for this New York Knicks team, and it's important as hell to have Josh Hart on the court. Now, Jalen Brunson, on the other hand, definitely not fully healthy, but he did speak on the Knicks' struggles, and it is something to be very aware of. Now, Brunson said, I mean, it's more of a mentality than anything else. We can't let our foot off the gas, regardless if we're up or down. We've got to be on the go the entire time. I feel like we've had spurts where we let off the gas a little bit, but we're just striving to play for 48 minutes. Honestly, I've seen this with the Knicks all season long. They have had struggles with just staying ready and staying hungry, and they've gotten a little bit complacent at times, and that's interesting for a Tom Thibodeau team that usually doesn't do that, but there has been a sense of complacency at times for the New York Knicks. It's one of the reasons why they lost last game is you could kind of tell that it felt in a way like they were playing like there was a tomorrow if they lost this game. That's how losing teams play, not winning teams. Jalen Brunson's a consummate winner. Mikal Bridges is a winner. Josh Hart is a winner. These guys have all won at the highest level. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, he's a massive winner as well. Obviously, he's never won a championship in the NBA or in college, but he's still played a lot of winning basketball in his career. He understands what it takes. And the New York Knicks need to use this to their advantage. They need to go out there and do whatever it takes to win in Game 6. Don't play like there's a tomorrow. That's not going to work. If you're playing like there's a tomorrow until there's not one, you're going to be caught off guard, and there's going to be a team that's been playing like this with their back against the wall for a while now. Now they have the momentum going into Game 7. So you cannot be doing that if you're the New York Knicks. I don't think they're going to as well. I think they are going to handle their business. Now, just look at Jalen Brunson. He's been phenomenal in the playoffs, but it is important to note that last game was his lowest points in a playoff game for the New York Knicks. He had 16 points. The second lowest he had was against the Pacers in Game 7 when he broke his hand and literally did not play in the fourth quarter because of that. Prior to that, it was also a game against the Pacers in the same series. Only played 31 minutes. But look, Jalen Brunson had the worst game of his New York Knicks playoff career last game. We know how Jalen Brunson is after he plays a bad game. The man wakes up and plays like a monster the next game. I would not be shocked if Jalen Brunson goes for 40 tonight. In fact, I'm sort of expecting it, which is a lot to ask out of anyone. But if there's anyone who could do it in the playoffs, it's Jalen Brunson, one of the great playoff scorers of all time, at least on that trajectory if you don't want to say that right now. But Jalen Brunson, he's been phenomenal. Yes, last game, he had a rough go, and I do think he's going to wake up, and yeah, his ankle's not fully healthy, but he's going to show up tonight, and I fully expect Jalen Brunson to have a monstrosity of a playoff performance in a good way, not a bad way. I should have said monstrous playoff performance now that I think about it, but can't take my words back. Look, at the end of the day, I do trust that Jalen Brunson's going to bounce back because he's been phenomenal throughout the playoffs. I mean, despite having just that 16-point game, he's still averaging, in 5 games played, 30 points per game, 8.5 assists, and 4 rebounds. So Brunson's been great for the New York Knicks, and he's going to continue to be that guy. It's just a matter of finding his spots and doing whatever it takes to win, and we know that he's willing to do that. On the other side of things, Josh Hart has been good as well. Is it last year's playoff performance? Not necessarily, but he's still playing really well thus far into the playoffs with 11.6 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 6 assists in these 5 games played. He's playing 38 minutes a night. So shout out to Josh Hart for really being a workhorse for the New York Knicks. But both these guys, they're ready to go. They're ready to play. They're going to play, and Jalen Brunson seems like he wants to end this thing tonight. Guys, are the Knicks going to win against the Detroit Pistons tonight? Give me your predictions down low. Give me the correct score. I'll shout you out if you get it right. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks. We're winning tonight.